onto our mats and just comfortably roll all the way down. As we're getting started here, begin with the breath, simply flowing in and out. There's a statistic that I learned recently where people are only breathing to about 30% of their lung capacity. And that's largely because our life nowadays is much more sedentary than it used to be. And so rather than, constantly being out to go, take our buckets to the river and go get our water and farm for our food or hunt for our food, rather than that kind of a lifestyle, nowadays a lot of people just sit for many hours at a time. And so that leads to a more shallow breath. So we're going to start off already, try to increase from maybe that normal 30% of your lung capacity to maybe double that, 60%, or even more, 70, 80, 90. Just take a few huge breaths all the way deep into the lungs so that it's like we're pumping just a huge bag. It's like we're less of a bag of flesh and we're more of a bag of air right now. So just start off with a few of those huge breaths for yourself. Make sure the belly rises. What that does is help to push some of the intestines down toward the belly area, making it so that the lungs have even more space. And as we're taking these huge breaths, we'll take a moment to connect with our intention for today, which is the idea of vitality. Doing things that makes the cells of our body feel so much more alive. So this will range from twisting to inverting to all sorts of different poses like that just give the cells a chance to stretch, to work, and to really feel alive for us. And so it all starts with this breath. The breath is called prana. Prana is that primordial life force that flows through us. The pranayama is that flowing, the movement of the life force. So let's take 3 more huge breaths just to get ourselves started. Good. From this point, we'll continue with a deep breath, but rather than making it like that pumping motion, we're going to take on the ujjayi breath, that light constriction of the throat that makes it so that we have this constant stream. The breath is either flowing in or out, we're not pausing. So with that constant stream, let's start to take a few simple stretches to get our body more used to moving for us. Start by taking the knees into the chest and just let yourself rock around on the hips for a moment. Occasionally I find a day when my sacrum has tilted a little bit. So when I rock like this, I'm actually able to diagnose that in myself. I'm able to feel how one side is very different than the other. And sometimes I use the rocking to kind of self-chiropractor myself, kind of self-correct it. So just a few more breaths. Sometimes it even just feels good on those muscles of the low back. Good. From here, let's take our hands around the right knee. Left leg starts to slide long. Let's pull this right knee in even closer for a moment. The right foot is welcome to do some ankle rolls. The left leg has a bit of energy shooting down through that side. This means that rather than letting the foot kind of flop open or collapse in, it's staying flexed as if we're standing on that side. See if this right knee can pull in just a bit deeper. And then 3 times, let this right knee pass back and forth into the right hand, and then across the body into the left hand. Going for 2. Last time, going open And then when the leg goes across the body, just pause for a moment, helping the vertebrae and helping the muscles of the back to get a chance to stretch in this nice twist. As we're with that slow, constant breath in and out, see if you can feel that ocean wave. It's almost like a Darth Vader noise. It's lightly constricted so we can feel that constant friction opening up our throat chakra. Still breathing into our belly even though we're twisted. And one more huge inhale. With that nice exhale, the hips return back down to the ground. Let the right leg stretch up to the sky just for a moment. Reach that leg upward, clasping the hands around the back side to give that hamstring a nice stretch. Good. Now as you release the hands, bend the knee again. The fingertips are going behind the ears, and we're going to take a cross lateral twist. And so the left elbow is coming up to touch that right knee. The left leg hovers, and then with each exhale, we're going to switch the knee that's inward. Elbows constantly touching the opposite. Exhale, twist. Inhale through the center. Exhale, twist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. This left knee should be in, otherwise do one more switch to get the left knee in. Clasp the hands around that side, start to pull the left knee directly in toward the chest. Keep on shooting energy down the right side as if you're standing on that foot. It's flexed and strong. Returning to the Ujjayi breath. If you're ever having trouble setting up that Ujjayi breath, that ocean wave sound, what I'll do is take the sound ha, and then halfway through I'll close my jaw. So it's like ha, and like and like when you close it, you feel as you continue that exhale that it goes into that throat. And then you just try to keep that same constriction of the throat while you take the next inhale. Maybe the left ankle wants to do just a couple of ankle rolls, loosening up any tightness. Good. 3 times, open the knee all the way to the left. Take it up and cross it over the body. Heading for the second round. And number 3. Stay in the twist. Just a few delicious breaths. It's kind of fun to do that Ujjayi breath, even in a twist. That slow, rhythmic control of the breath helps us to have this greater awareness of it than we have at other times. Take one more good inhale. Exhale, the leg returns back down to the ground. Clasp around the thigh, and left leg gets its chance to stretch up. Feel those muscles starting to open up for us. It's early on in class, so it takes time to really get to the deep flexibility here. But having patience through this first one. And as we bend the knee back down, take the fingertips behind the ears. Right elbow twist to that left knee. Right leg hovers. And let's do a few more of those exhale switches. Try to see if the shoulder that's lifting up can lift as much off the ground as possible. So you're trying to really get the surface area of the back off the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Clasp behind the back of the thighs. Let's roll like a ball a few times, rocking up and back. Getting that nice massage all through the vertebrae. And when you're ready to be all the way up, send the feet directly into cobbler. Spine releases and relaxes up and over. Let the head be a little bit loose, even perhaps rocking it left and right, working through any tightness that might be present there. Rising up, the right leg extends long in front of us. Circle the arms up to the sky with a huge inhale. And exhale, release up and over. Spine rolls back up, switch out the legs. Now it's left that's long in front of us. Take that same inhale to float up, exhale to release over. Good. As we rise up this next time, we're coming in toward a kneeling position. We're going to start playing with our cat-cow variations of the spine. And note, from this point, you're going to notice several poses where we're beginning to push down into the ground to find a lift up. And so think of a sunflower. A sunflower is actually quite a large flower in comparison to, how long it has to be and how tall it is and all about that. So the only way that the sunflower has the ability to hold up such a large flower is by having that thick stem that's able to root and connect directly into the ground. So that's what we're doing. We're not kind of half-heartedly growing our flower up to the sky. We're really starting to connect down to extend and reach upward. So as we have our hands in contact with the ground, start to feel that connection, as much surface area of the hands on the ground as possible. With our exhale, begin to round the vertebrae up to the sky. Nice and easy, doesn't it first? Belly down, gaze up. We have such a solid foundation already. Exhales and inhales. Let's do 3 more rounds. Beautiful. Hands walk forward, a full hand width or two to bring us toward a kneeling plank. This is just a nice, easy variation to start with. From here, we're going to do 10 little pulses. The elbows bend, squeezing in rather than out, and then we press back up. Find that press of the earth into the ground to lift us, just like we talked about. So repeating 9 more times. Exhale down, inhale, press. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower all the way down to the ground. A nice easy Sphinx pose for our first back bend, hands under the shoulders. With the surface area of the hands returning back to the ground immediately, drag the hands toward your body. This allows heart to get pulled forward and through. Nice arch to that spine. Good. Sliding the hands back in under the shoulders. Shift the hips back. A nice child pose. Letting the spine, all those muscles continue to open for us as we're getting more and more warmed up. Good. Heading up to a downward facing dog. Once again, find that surface area of the hands on the ground. The pointer finger or the middle finger is pointing forward, whichever feels better for the wrist. And the fingers are spread wide, creating that surface area from which we can grow our sunflower. So start to tuck the toes, lift the hips up high, and reach those hips up to the sky like you're trying to be the tallest sunflower in the grove. From here, if you'd like to have little wiggles for a moment, that can feel really nice, helping the Achilles tendon and the calf to get alternating stretches. And when you feel pretty complete through this round of it, let's begin to walk the feet up toward the top of the mat, enjoying a nice arch and release of our spine up and over. Take another wonderful inhale. A nice exhale. Inhale to rise. Feel the spine arch back. And hands join together in front of the heart. Continue all the way down to drop the hands at your sides, mountain pose. And once again, feel the feet rooting into the earth so that our spine can have this lengthening upward. If we were to kind of be collapsed through our skeleton, our sunflower, or kind of the top of our head, can only go so high. But here we're trying to find length, as if somebody has a crown around our head and pulls our head upward. It's reaching so high up. Better posture perhaps than we've had all week. And feel how the lungs are able to deeply expand from this place already. Drop the left hand down to the left thigh. Circle the right hand up, reaching it tall. And then as the hips begin to travel to the right, lean the top arm over to the left. A huge arch to the spine. Getting that lateral bend. One more inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Second side, drop the right arm down. Lift the left arm up tall. From the length of the spine, we start to shift the hips to the left to lean the arm to the right. Another good inhale. Exhale, return back upright. Immediately find the tall stacked spine and circle the arms up to the sky. Huge inhale. Exhale, forward fold. The length increasing through the legs. Inhale, half lift, long flat spine. Exhale, fingertips drop down, just the right foot lunges back. Keep the right hand down onto the ground. That's going to now be the root that we're grounding into as the left arm starts to float up to the sky. Notice if you can make this feel like that same stem of the sunflower, really opening the spine, grounding down into that right hand to feel the lift of the left hand. Another good inhale here. Exhale, drop the hand down. Step the back foot forward. We're in that nice forward fold again. Take a normal breath. Deep inhale, perhaps returning to Ujjayi if you lost it. Nice exhale. Inhale, half lift through that long, flat spine. Exhale, sliding hands down, left foot lunges back. Left hand goes to the ground. Find that rootedness of the left hand already to try to start growing your stem upward through the right hand. I love the sunflower is the image of vitality because it's so happy to receive the energy of the sun. So happy that it has to follow the sun all the way across the sky. It's almost like its own solar panel that knows how to turn in just the right direction so that it can receive energy or vitality that we've been talking about today. So feel the spine still opening. Take one more good inhale. Exhale, drop the hand down. Step the back foot forward. We're in that nice forward fold up at the top of the mat. Another full breath cycle like this. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, half lift. Hands rise up the legs. And exhale, drop the hands back down. Right foot lunges back. From here, as the hands are on either side of the foot on the ground, take 3 pulses to try to straighten the left leg and bend it back again. 2. 1. This time, stay with a straight front leg, a few extra breaths. The back heel may not be all the way on the ground. That's okay. We're in this nice balance here, getting that length through left side. Good. Now find yourself planting your hands at the top of the mat. Even if you have to go through a bent left knee to step back into plank, travel backwards. If you ever need to drop the knees down, that's okay through plank. And then shift forward to lower chaturanga. Inhale through an arch, maybe a nice easy cobra, maybe all the way up, full cobra. Take an extra inhale, exhale, and rise up, downward facing dog. Know that you can always take a little child pose after that flow if needed. Hips are lifting, that's now the sunflower point. Rising up to the sky to greet that energy, that vitality. And from here, as you gaze forward in between the hands, slightly bend the knees like a spring. You can either step, walk, or find yourself jumping up toward the top of our mat. Once we're here, slide the hands up the legs, a nice half lift through the spine. Exhale, drop back down, forward fold. Holding here for another whole breath. Inhale. And exhale. And then step the left foot all the way toward the back of the mat. One hand is on the ground on either side of that right foot. Let's do those 3 pulses. Try to straighten the right leg and bend the right. Straighten and bend. And this third time, as we're going straight, try to pause there, a few extra breaths. Good. Bending the knee if you need to get the hands to front flat. Step back through plank. Shift forward, squeeze the elbows into lower chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. And let's pause again for a full cycle of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. We're in a nice downward facing dog. From here, we're going to take a little mini flow just to connect those 2 points we've just built up. Allow the inhale to float the right leg up to the sky. Exhale, just bring that right knee into the nose, finding the strength for a moment. Hold. Feel the hands pressing into the ground for that stability. Inhale. Exhale, float the right leg back up to the sky, reaching it high. It's the sunflower. And then the next time you bring that right foot forward, step it in between the hands. Now it's the left hand that's grounding down so that right hand can reach up to the sky. Feel the spine spiraling open to create the groundedness through the left hand and the lift through the right hand. Right hand returns down. We're surrounding either side of the front foot. Straighten the front knee and bend it. 2 and 1. Leave it straight. Find the stability through the length of the legs. In this case, the stability is like a triangle. It's similar to our downward facing dog, how the structure isn't from a root that goes directly down. Rather, the shape of the triangle is the rootedness here. See if you can return to that Ujjayi breath. One more good inhale. Exhale, bend the front knee to have the hands plant flat on the ground as we step back to plank. Shift forward, lower chaturanga. A nice back bend. And downward facing dog. Hips lifting high through that same triangle shape. And then left leg starts to float up to the sky. Feel it reaching up, trying to be that sunflower. And then take the knee to the nose, hold. Take a full inhale. Exhale. Inhale, float the leg back up. Reaching it high to the sky. And then finally we step left foot in between the hands. Right hand roots down to the ground so that left hand can start to float upward. Feel the expansion, the stretching. One more good inhale. Exhale, the fingers drop down, surrounding the leg on either side. Front knee tries to go towards straight. And bend. 2. and stay nice and straight. See if instead of having a roundedness of the spine, if you can also feel that vitality of the sunflower lengthening through the length of the spine. The back is becoming more straight as we go. One more good inhale. Exhale, hands are flat on the ground. Step the foot back, plank position. Another flow, shift forward to lower down. A nice arch to the spine. And this time, do head back for a moment with child pose. Giving the hands a break, maybe even rolling them out. And then rising up onto all fours, hands and knees, we're going to take a dolphin pose. Dolphin pose, note, does not have the head touching the ground. That's something that's coming up a little bit later in class. So to get to dolphin, our elbows plant down on the ground. Take a moment to hug each hand around the elbow. That makes sure that the elbows are shoulder distance width, not any wider. Once you've checked that, take the hands back out in front of you. Essentially, your arms are forming a triangle shape. I like to have one hand with a fist and the other hand hugs around the fist. So from here, we've got our base set up. Similar to down dog, tuck your toes. Start to lift your knees off the ground, hips go up high to the sky, but also try to walk your feet in a few steps so that your hips are coming a little bit closer to be over the shoulders. So the work of the shoulders, pushing the shoulders away from the ears rather than sinking them down toward the ears. So you're welcome to drop down to child pose at any point if it gets to be too much, but try to find the ujjayi, smooth, vital breath, even in this pose. If you're still doing okay, take 3 more breaths. And then take a rest back down into child pose. It's a strong pose we just did because it's the shoulder working to keep us lifted. Good. So inversions, whether it's downward facing dog or dolphin pose that we just did, or any other variety, they're extremely healthy for the vitality of our organs because it's letting the circulation switch directions. Not only does that relieve the heart, because the heart has to do about 25% of its work to get blood up to the brain, so it relieves all of that work, but it also gets to flush the body in different ways, getting oxygen-rich blood to areas of the body that normally don't get it immediately. So enjoying that same type of inversion, only in our down dog, notice as you tuck the toes and lift the hips up, that same wonderful loose hanging of the neck all the way down. Feel how the strength of the shoulders is a little bit easier here because we've got the skeletal system stacked. Just enjoy 3 more good breaths. And then slightly bending the knees like a spring, gaze forward, step, walk, or even jump all the way to the top. And take a little bit of extra time to enjoy the standing forward fold, yet another inversion, a chance for our head to be below the level of the heart. With our next inhale, we'll rise. I'm going to circle arms to the sides to rise up, but if you're getting a head rush, bend your knees and roll up instead. Eventually the hands reach up to the sky, maybe a slight arch back. And then our hands can join together in front of our hearts, even dropping down into our sides for a beautiful opening mountain pose. Feel the spine stacked at least as tall as it was before, if not even taller. Keeping the knees directly in line with the feet. We're going to sit back like we're going into a chair as the arms sweep up by our ears. And then lowering the arms down, straighten through the legs. Find that press of the feet down to lift you up. So repeating that a few times. Sit back, arms swing up. And arms down, straighten the legs. Exhale as we travel down. Inhale, press to lift up. Repeating 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, as we start to rise up, this time shift your weight onto the right foot. Left leg opens for a nice tree pose balance. The foot can be at ankle, at calf, or even left foot up to the right thigh. Hands at the heart. Once again, feel the rooting energy going down to help let the spine reach up. Perhaps today, if your balance is there, you bring your wrists together, opening the fingertips like a lotus, like a little sunflower, and reach that flower directly up to the sky. Collect the vital energy of the sun, or at least imagine doing so, gathering some into your system. And as we join our hands together in front of the heart, release the left knee to float forward in front of you. Kick back through warrior 3. Trying to find this balance here. Hands are welcome to be at the heart, though you can stretch them forward for added difficulty. And land that foot gently at the back of the mat. Sweep the arms up, warrior 1, right knee forward. A nice spiral to the spine. Drop the right hand to the back thigh. Left hand is now the flower, blossoming up at the sky as we spiral our spine around and down, gazing down over the right shoulder. Take another inhale here. Exhale, float both arms up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, open up, warrior 2. Once again, find the rooting down to lengthen the spine up. Extended side angle, the front elbow drops down. Left arm reaches. It's like our vine now is going from the left foot up to the left wrist. Long, straight line. Feel yourself breathing into the side of the left ribs. One more inhale. Exhale, rise up. Keeping the bend to the front knee, reverse the arms. Left hand down. Try to stack the right hand directly over the left arm. Ujjayi, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, float back up, warrior 2. Straighten the front leg. Reach the arms forward. And then simply drop right hand down, left hand up. Again, to stack. Left arm is trying to float up like that flower. A nice inhale. Exhale, rise back up. Take a slight bend to the front knee as we cartwheel our hands down to the ground, surrounding that front foot. Step the front foot back, your plank. And let's take a whole flow, lowering chaturanga. A nice arch to the spine, back bend. And downward facing dog. Hips lifting high, that's the sunflower point. Gazing forward, find a slight bend to the knees. To step, walk, or jump all the way forward. Enjoy the inversion for a moment, sinking into the forward fold. Knees are trying to straighten as the spine tries to release more and more muscle groups. It's like the more muscle groups I can release from my spine, the closer my head gets to the ground. Take another full inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Whether through the bent knees or the circling arms. Hands go through the heart space. To drop down at the sides. Lift the spine up through mountain. Very strong, very tall. Keep the knees tracked in line with the feet as we set the hips back. Arms float up by the ears. And return down. Press the feet into the ground. Repeating here, 6. Ujjayi, flowing of the breath. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Beautiful. As we straighten back up, our weight shifts into the left foot. The right foot comes to the ankle, calf, or thigh in tree pose shape. Hands are welcome to be at the heart. Try to allow the spine to lift up tall. And only if the balance is here, the arms open into that flower shape, reaching the sunflower high up to the sky. This is about as high as we can make our sunflower in any pose. Take another good inhale. Exhale, the hands start to drop down to the heart. Release the right knee to float in front of us. And then we kick it back through warrior 3 shape. Try to find at least one breath of stability. Inhale. Exhale, land the foot very gently. Arms sweep up, warrior 1. Leave the right hand reaching directly up as that flower shape. Left hand drops down into the spinal twist. Gaze down over the left shoulder. Front knee can still stay bent. Inhale, reach the hand left back up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, rotate open, warrior 2. Spine still lifting. Extended side angle, front elbow down. This right arm starts to reach forward, finding as much length as you can from right ankle to right hand. And rising up, the front knee stays bent. Right hand drops to the back leg, left hand floats directly over the other. Maybe even opening the hand in a way that seems like a flower to you. One more inhale. Exhale. Inhale, return. Straighten the front leg, triangle pose. Reach forward to drop left hand down. And right hand simply falls into place, stacking up tall. Good. As we rise up, take a bend to the front knee. Cartwheel the hands all the way to the ground. Step back and pause in a plank position. Both heels rotate down to the right side. Left arm floats up, that same stack all the way up over the right wrist. Left hand floating up to the sky sunflower. One more inhale. Exhale, left hand down, heels up. Drop the heels over to the left side so that right arm can float up to the sky. Nice inhale. Exhale, hand down. Shift forward to lower, chaturanga. Back bend. And downward facing dog. And dropping down to the knees, we're going to prepare for a nice inversion. Like I talked about earlier, inversions are an amazing way to help switch around our circulatory system, extremely good for our vitality, for our youth. Know that if a headstand that I'm heading into is not quite in your practice today, you are welcome to do any other inversion that we've practiced, including dolphin pose, elbows on the ground, just a simple standing forward fold, or downward facing dog. Any of these inversions will get you the same benefits that we're talking for. So only if you know that you can do a headstand, you're welcome to, away from the wall or with the wall, your preference. If you're going to headstand, I'll give you a few quick instructions. We're setting up our elbows like that same triangle. I clasp my hands together and release one pinky in front of the other so that I'm able to cup around my head, forming that nice strong triangle shape. The part of my head that's down is the part that allows for length of the spine. No rounding forward, no arching back. I can find that place by taking the base of my right palm onto my eyebrows, and then the place where my middle finger can touch, that's the part of my head, that soft spot of babies. That's the part that will touch down to the ground. So if you're taking a headstand or heading into any variation of headstand, you're going to drop that part of the head that you just felt down onto the ground. As the hands cup around the head for extra stability. Elbows are in as wide as shoulders. And from this point, this is an okay place to also simply practice headstand by getting that massage of the head under the ground. If you're heading higher, tuck the toes, lift the hips like a dolphin pose with the head down. This is also an okay place to stop. If you're going a bit deeper, start walking your toes in so that the hips are stacking over the shoulders. And then perhaps one or both legs slowly with control rises up to a nice tall stacked position. If we're here, just allow yourself to enjoy it. About 5 more slow Ujjayi breaths. And no matter which inversion you just took, let's all find ourselves resting down into child pose with the arms tucked at our sides, much more like an embryo. Feel that immediate release through the cervical spine. That massage that happened on the crown of the head can take some time to get used to, but the crown chakra loves that connection down into the ground. So know that if you're still in the process of getting used to it, the crown chakra eventually will like it. You can always add a blanket to make it softer on the crown of the head though. Let's just enjoy a couple of extra breaths right here. Find the hands coming in under the shoulders, tuck the toes, straighten the legs to join ourselves in a nice standing forward fold. And for this forward fold, clasp the hands together, placing the pinky fingers at the base of the skull, This helps to bring our spine into a nice rounded shape, a nice counter stretch and elongation to what we just did. So letting ourselves hang here just a little bit longer. As the hands start to drop down, walk them forward into a downward facing dog. Lift the right leg high up to the sky, a nice sunflower. And then the side of the right knee comes under and through for pigeon pose. The back knee scoots back. As we lower onto elbows, the forehead can rest on our palms, maybe on the floor. One more breath here. And then hands plant down, tuck the toes, lift the hips. And second side, left leg floats. Send the left knee under and through, pigeon pose. Maybe forehead can rest down, rocking the head just a bit. And this time, coming out of pigeon, just find yourself rocking onto left hip, swinging the legs out in front of you. But slowly lower down to the ground. If your spine feels ready for Shavasana, immediately go into that shape. If there's any other things, happy baby pose, or a simple twist to each side that would feel great. Explore any of those last poses until you're ready for this final release for the next few minutes together. When you are here, the breath simply flows. And perhaps imagine your body is now the earth itself. And with each breath you take, a whole new sunflower sprouts up on your body. And with every sunflower that rises up, you get the direct benefit of receiving all that energy directly from the sunflower, receiving it from the sun. Imagining those sunflowers having filled your body with energy. Take a huge breath in and out. Start to introduce little movements back to the fingers and the toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Eventually rolling over to a nice fetal position on one side. Enjoy another good inhale. A nice exhale. And press our way up to a seated position. As the hands join together in front of our heart, we feel this vitality that we've gathered through class, through our breath work, through our inversions, through all the strengthening and stretching poses we've explored. And so with this newfound vitality to lead us into a very energized, very productive and healthy day, let's allow ourselves to wrap up this wonderful time we got to share together with the sound of Om. Taking a deep inhale now. Om. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.